Good evening, Spurs fans. Again, I think this one was a much rougher watch. I think the first half, again, following the theme of preseason, we've really struggled to impose ourselves in a lot of the first halves of these games. Uh, Again, I think Pedro Porro is having a phenomenal preseason and getting ready for season. Dragusin didn't do a lot to really impress, which again is disappointing for someone who keeps asking for more minutes. And again, I think he is missing an opportunity to step up and claim minutes. Ben Davies was disappointing. Again, we really need to find a better option as that backup left center back. And again, I mean, Davies was no major mistakes, but he wasn't reading the game and cutting out the danger of those counterattacks. Again, essentially, if the fullback gets beat, then Davies most of the time is unable to stop the forwards on the other team. Again, he's not closing things down. He's not reading the play and preventing issues, putting out fires before they happen. Again, we see the drop off between Davies and Van de Ven, and it's absolutely massive. Spence, not his best game, but again, he's a right back, not a left back. Similar, I think, to sometimes when Mo got kind of criticized for poor performances on the left side. This is one where we really need kind of a left-sided option. Honestly, I thought Donnelly looked a little bit better. I'd consider him ahead of Spence on that left side. And again, it's just a lot of frustration from players not showing up. Madison, previously, again, I was saying he looked like he was coming to a little bit of form. He was absent. The effort level wasn't there. At this point, I think you have to start Bergvall in next game. Archie Gray, he struggled in midfield. Again, I don't think he's quite ready to start, but that's fine. I mean, that's what Bazuma should be doing. At this point, again, I think that's one of the areas where we really could have used that reinforcement. I've been calling out for us to sign a six since almost December of last year. And again, when Bazuma came on, he really struggled on the ball. And it kind of looked like we still don't really have a great option at that position. Bentancur, when we had him last season, was kind of filling in occasionally, but we just haven't had that right option. Again, I think Gray will develop over the course of the season as he kind of gets used to playing in the first team against better competition, but just not enough there. Kulu, honestly, I'm not seeing it as center forward. Yeah, he has the ability to hold up the ball, but I don't think he has that striker instinct. He's not always making the right run. And I think it's too late to try and convert him. That has to be the other priority in terms of signings. And then transitioning to the second half, we got Bergvall on. He instantly improved that team. Again, I think Basuma was getting some credit for playing better than Gray, but Basuma was still constantly giving that ball away. Again, I think it was the work that Bergvall was doing really improved that midfield. And I think I would give him the start next game. And honestly, I think Gray would look better next to Bergvall. And I think that would improve his performance a little bit. Again, we saw from some of the other kids, we just looked sharper with them on the field. Devine played fairly well. Abbott was reliable. I was disappointed not to see Mikey Moore get on earlier. I think he deserves some more minutes. Again, Johnson was just not doing a lot. So again, it's a frustration of that. And then I think the last thing I wanted to address was Pedro Porro, uh, not Pedro Porro, Vicario. Again, he clearly screwed up on that first goal, and that's on him. Again, you're happy that that screw up happens in preseason and not in league when it costs us points. But again, I think a lot of fans were really getting on him. As a goalkeeper, mistakes will happen every once in a while. But again, I think Vicario, after a rough start, grew into that game, and he made a bunch of saves. He bailed out the defenders that were getting beat in behind. And I think fans are sometimes forgetting that because they're looking at, oh, he screwed up on that first goal. And again, I think while it put us behind, I mean, again, I think our midfield and our forwards lost this game by not really creating enough threats, not taking the few opportunities we did make. Again, at this point, I mean, I think we've seen a few of the big holes in the squad. We don't have that striker. We don't have the solid midfielders, and at times we could use a change up on the wings. So I'm hoping that what we see is kind of a reaction from the club, some of those French players that are really saying, hey, I'm here, I want a spot in this team. And then a bit from the club, now that they're going to be back in England, to really push for getting those few signings across the line to improve the quality of the team overall and get a few more of those players that are not in the plans out of the club. Again, the season is not over. There's a lot still to come, but this is a pivotal point where we need to make the right decisions to get us onto the right track. Come on, you Spurs.